This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional before making any health-related decision.
Walking is often described as one of the simplest, most natural forms of exercise, yet its simplicity belies the profound impact it has on the human body, particularly after the age of 60. At this stage of life, every step carries significance, not just as a motion that moves us through space, but as a complex dialogue between muscles, joints, the cardiovascular system, and even the mind. Walking becomes a form of medicine, a prescription written not in pills but in rhythm and movement. It stimulates circulation, helping oxygen-rich blood reach every corner of the body, and encourages the lymphatic system to move fluid, remove waste, and support the immune system. Each stride activates the muscles of the legs, the stabilizing muscles of the core, and even the small muscles of the feet that we often overlook. These movements help maintain strength, balance, and coordination, which are essential for preventing falls and sustaining independence in later years. In addition to the physical benefits, walking sends signals to the brain that encourage the release of endorphins and other neurochemicals that enhance mood, reduce stress, and support cognitive function, creating a holistic form of wellness that bridges body and mind. Yet the power of walking is not unlimited, and the body after 60 has unique needs that make the concept of dosage far more critical than in earlier decades. The tissues of the body change gradually but inexorably with age. Cartilage in the knees, hips and spine begins to thin, absorbing less shock from repetitive motion. The ligaments and tendons that connect muscles to bones lose some elasticity, reducing the natural spring in movement that cushions each step. Muscle fibers, particularly those responsible for rapid stabilization and sudden movements, decline in both number and efficiency. Even the cardiovascular system, which often remains remarkably resilient, responds differently to exertion, requiring more careful pacing to maintain a beneficial heart rate without tipping into strain. In this context, walking is no longer an automatically safe or purely restorative activity. It becomes something that must be attuned to the body's current capacities and limits. Scientific research has consistently highlighted the difference between moderate, purposeful walking and excessive or overly prolonged activity. Studies in gerontology and exercise physiology show that daily walks of approximately 30 to 40 minutes, conducted at a comfortable pace, are associated with improved cardiovascular function, joint health, and metabolic regulation. This moderate duration stimulates blood flow, strengthens muscles, encourages the production of synovial fluid in joints, and promotes insulin sensitivity without overloading tissues. Beyond the measurable physiological effects, this level of activity also reinforces a rhythm in the nervous system, providing stability, coordination, and confidence in movement. The key lies not in the distance covered, but in how the body responds and recovers from each walk, with attention paid to subtle cues such as stiffness, soreness, or fatigue that indicate the need for rest. When walking extends beyond the body's comfortable capacity, even with good intentions, subtle consequences begin to accumulate. Over time, excessive walking can increase inflammation in joints and connective tissue, leading to discomfort or exacerbation of conditions like osteoarthritis or tendinopathy. The small muscles responsible for stabilizing the hips, knees, and ankles become fatigued first, and when these muscles tire, larger muscles or the skeletal system may compensate, creating altered gait patterns and placing uneven stress on bones and cartilage. This compensation is often imperceptible in the moment, but can slowly contribute to micro-injuries or chronic pain if repeated daily without adequate recovery. Unlike younger bodies that may recover overnight from prolonged activity, older adults often require additional time for tissue repair, and ignoring this need can reduce the long-term benefits of walking while increasing the risk of injury. Equally important is the relationship between walking and mental engagement, which is amplified after 60. Walking is not merely a physical exercise, it is a multisensory activity that engages proprioception, balance, coordination, and cognitive processing. The rhythm of walking, the changes in terrain, the awareness of posture and breathing, all of these elements encourage neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new neural connections. Studies suggest that regular, moderate walking enhances executive function, memory, and mood regulation, and even provides protection against cognitive decline. However, When walking becomes overly long or exhausting, it may shift from being a mindful, restorative activity to a physically taxing endeavor, reducing enjoyment, increasing stress hormones, and potentially undermining the very mental benefits that moderate walking supports. The concept of dosage in walking also ties into the larger philosophy of balance in aging. The body after 60 is a system of interconnected networks, each influencing the other in subtle ways. Cardiovascular strain affects muscular endurance, joint discomfort affects posture and gait, mental fatigue affects coordination and risk perception. In this complex system, moderation becomes an expression of respect for the body's wisdom, an acknowledgement that more is not always better. Walking in a measured, attentive manner allows the cardiovascular system to thrive without overexertion, allows muscles to strengthen without breaking down, allows joints to move without chronic irritation, and allows the mind to engage without stress. Furthermore, the variability in individual capacity underscores the importance of personalized walking routines. Chronological age alone does not determine how much walking is too much. Genetics, prior physical activity, pre-existing conditions, and even lifestyle factors such as nutrition and sleep all play a role. One individual may comfortably walk 5 kilometers in a single session, while another may find 15 minutes sufficient for health benefits. The common thread is attentiveness to the body's signals and a willingness to adjust intensity and duration accordingly. This self-awareness transforms walking from a rigid metric of steps or distance into a dialogue between the individual and their own physiology, a practice that honors both the science of aging and the art of mindful movement. Walking also interacts with other lifestyle factors that influence health after 60. Adequate hydration, nutrient intake, and rest all modulate the body's response to activity. A well-hydrated body maintains joint lubrication more effectively, while proper nutrition supports tissue repair and energy metabolism. Recovery between walks allows microdamage to be repaired, inflammation to subside, and energy reserves to restore. Ignoring these factors while attempting long or frequent walks risks undermining the benefits and can lead to cumulative stress that is difficult to reverse. Ultimately, walking after 60 is a profound form of self-care when approached with balance and awareness. Its benefits extend far beyond simple mobility, reaching into cardiovascular health, joint preservation, muscular endurance, metabolic regulation, cognitive resilience, and emotional well-being. Yet its power is intimately tied to the concept of dosage. Just as a physician prescribes medication in the right amount to heal rather than harm, walking must be tuned to the body's current capacity, mindful of both effort and recovery, and responsive to subtle physiological cues. By embracing moderation, listening attentively to the body, and respecting its evolving needs, walking transforms from mere movement into a deliberate, restorative practice that nurtures health, vitality, and longevity in ways that are measurable, profound, and deeply human. The human body is a remarkable system of interdependent structures, each finely tuned to respond to the forces we place upon it. Yet after 60, this intricate system begins to shift in ways that are subtle but significant, altering how the body handles even the most familiar forms of movement. Walking, which may have once been effortless and restorative, now interacts with tissues and systems that are gradually changing, requiring a new approach rooted in awareness and moderation. Cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions our joints, begins to thin, losing some of its shock-absorbing capacity. Every step sends force through the knees, hips, and spine, and where cartilage once spread this force evenly, it now absorbs less impact, transferring more strain to the underlying bones and surrounding soft tissue. This change is not abrupt, it is a gradual recalibration that often goes unnoticed until minor discomfort, stiffness, or swelling signals the need for attention. Alongside these changes in cartilage, ligaments and tendons also undergo a transformation. The fibers that connect muscles to bones and stabilize joints lose some of their elasticity, making movements feel less fluid and requiring more conscious control to maintain balance and posture. These tissues, which once rebounded quickly from the stresses of walking, now demand longer periods of recovery, reinforcing the importance of pacing and listening to the body. Muscles themselves experience both qualitative and quantitative changes with age. There is a natural reduction in muscle mass, known as sarcopenia, which is accompanied by a decrease in the proportion of fast-twitch fibers. These fibers, essential for quick stabilization, balance corrections, and sudden movements, decline more rapidly than slow twitch fibers. As a result, older adults may find that their muscles fatigue more quickly during prolonged walks, particularly in the stabilizing muscles of the hips, knees, and ankles. Even though walking is a low-impact activity compared to running or high-intensity exercise, the cumulative load over time can reveal these changes. The body compensates, often unconsciously, by adjusting posture, stride length, and gait. While these adjustments help maintain forward motion, they also create uneven stress on joints and connective tissues, subtly increasing the risk of discomfort or micro-injuries. Unlike younger bodies that can rely on a rapid repair response, older bodies require a more deliberate approach to recovery, emphasizing rest, hydration, and nutrition to support tissue repair and resilience. The cardiovascular system, though remarkably resilient, also adapts differently to physical activity after 60. The heart's efficiency may remain high, but the elasticity of blood vessels can decrease, leading to slightly higher resting blood pressure and altered responses to exertion. Walking continues to provide tremendous benefits for cardiovascular health, including improved circulation, oxygen delivery, and heart rate modulation. Yet the body becomes more sensitive to prolonged or intense activity, particularly if it exceeds a comfortable pace. Walking at a steady, moderate pace ensures that oxygen demand and delivery remain balanced, supporting endurance and stamina without overtaxing the system. Breathless or overly strenuous walks may temporarily elevate heart rate and blood pressure beyond optimal levels, creating stress rather than benefit. The interplay between muscle fatigue, joint stress, and cardiovascular demand underscores the necessity of moderation, showing that even an activity as natural as walking requires thoughtful adjustment as the body ages. Neurological changes also play a role in how the body handles movement after 60. Proprioception, the body's ability to sense position, movement, and balance, gradually becomes less acute. Sensory feedback from muscles, tendons, and joints is slightly diminished, making the body more reliant on conscious control during movement. Walking on uneven surfaces, navigating obstacles, or adjusting stride requires greater attentiveness, especially when fatigue sets in. Muscle fatigue not only affects physical performance, but also the body's ability to maintain proper gait and balance. Small deviations in posture or stride that were previously corrected automatically may now persist longer, placing uneven stress on joints and increasing the risk of falls. These neurological adaptations, combined with musculoskeletal changes, illustrate why older adults must approach walking with a heightened awareness of both pace and duration, ensuring that movement remains safe and beneficial rather than taxing. Hormonal and metabolic shifts contribute further to how the body responds to physical load after 60. The production of anabolic hormones like growth hormone and testosterone declines, which can slow the repair and regeneration of muscle tissue. Metabolic flexibility, the ability to efficiently switch between fuel sources such as carbohydrates and fats, may also decrease, meaning that energy stores are utilized differently during prolonged activity. Walking, though not high intensity, engages multiple energy systems simultaneously, requiring coordination between cardiovascular efficiency, muscular endurance, and metabolic availability. When walks extend beyond the body's optimal capacity, energy depletion occurs more quickly, and recovery becomes essential to prevent fatigue from accumulating over days or weeks. This reinforces the principle that moderation, attentiveness, and recovery are as vital as the walk itself, ensuring that the activity enhances vitality rather than producing strain. The skeletal system, too, reflects the cumulative impact of aging on walking. Bones gradually lose density, and minor changes in alignment may occur due to shifts in posture, muscle strength, and balance. Every step exerts compressive force on the spine, hips, knees, and ankles. When walking is excessive or repetitive without recovery, these forces can contribute to discomfort, inflammation, or microdamage. The interplay between bone density, joint integrity, muscle strength, and connective tissue elasticity demonstrates the complexity of movement after 60. Walking remains fundamentally safe and beneficial, but the margin for error narrows, requiring thoughtful pacing, attention to posture, and sensitivity to the body's signals. Beyond the physiological aspects, there is a psychological dimension to how older adults approach walking. Determination, habit, and the desire to maintain independence may drive individuals to push beyond comfortable limits. Yet the body's signals fatigue, stiffness, soreness are not signs of weakness, they are communication, a subtle form of guidance that encourages moderation. Recognizing and respecting these signals allows walking to remain restorative, fostering a sense of empowerment rather than risk. It becomes a dialogue between the mind, the muscles, and the cardiovascular system, a practice in attentiveness and self-awareness. Finally, it is worth noting that individual variability is significant. Genetics, lifestyle, prior activity levels, and pre-existing conditions all influence how much walking a person can handle safely and comfortably. What constitutes too much is not a universal measure but a personalized threshold, discerned through careful observation of energy levels, joint response, cardiovascular cues, and overall well-being. Older adults are encouraged to experiment with duration, intensity, and frequency while paying close attention to recovery, ensuring that walking supports overall health rather than inadvertently creating strain. In this context, the aging body is not a limitation but a system to be understood, respected, and supported, and walking, when attuned to these needs, remains one of the most accessible, profound, and restorative forms of movement available. Walking, in essence, becomes a practice of listening, observing, and responding, where the body's adaptations guide the rhythm, distance, and pace of each journey, turning a simple act into a deeply informed, mindful engagement with health and vitality. Fatigue is an unassuming companion of aging, quietly influencing the way the body moves and the way movement affects the body. After 60, muscles, joints, and the nervous system do not respond in quite the same way as they did in younger years, and the subtle onset of fatigue can alter movement patterns long before pain or injury appears. When walking becomes long or strenuous, even at a moderate pace, the body begins to make micro-adjustments that are often imperceptible but significant. Stabilizing muscles around the hips, knees, and ankles, which are essential for maintaining balance and smooth motion, tire first. These muscles are small but critical. They maintain alignment, support joints, and absorb shocks from every step. As they fatigue, the body compensates, often by recruiting larger, less specialized muscles or by adjusting posture and gait to distribute load differently. While this compensation allows continued motion, it introduces uneven stress across joints, tendons, and connective tissues, subtly increasing the risk of discomfort, inflammation, or even injury over time. The changes in gait caused by fatigue are not always obvious to the individual walking. Stride length may shorten, steps may become slightly uneven, and subtle shifts in weight distribution occur to reduce the immediate sensation of effort. These adaptations are natural responses, built into the body's design to allow continued movement under stress. Yet, over repeated walks, these small deviations can accumulate, producing patterns of strain that may manifest as joint soreness, tendon irritation, or lower back discomfort. Unlike younger adults, who can often rely on rapid recovery and muscular resilience, older adults must recognize that these minor compensations are meaningful signals. They indicate that the muscles and connective tissues responsible for maintaining optimal movement are reaching their functional limit and require rest or lighter activity to restore balance. The nervous system also plays a crucial role in how fatigue affects movement. Proprioception, the sense of the body's position and movement, gradually becomes less acute with age. Fatigue in stabilizing muscles can diminish the feedback these systems provide, making the body less efficient at self-correcting deviations in posture or alignment. When these small corrections fail to occur, the body may inadvertently place extra load on joints, ligaments, and tendons, increasing the likelihood of micro-injuries or chronic discomfort. For example, a slight collapse of the arch during prolonged walking can shift weight unevenly across the foot and ankle, producing subtle strain that accumulates over time. The interplay between muscular fatigue and neurological responsiveness demonstrates that even low-impact activities, when extended beyond the body's sustainable capacity, can create mechanical stress that is easy to overlook but physiologically significant. Muscle fatigue after 60 also affects energy distribution in ways that influence overall movement quality. Walking is not solely a leg activity, it engages core muscles, postural muscles, and even the muscles of the upper body in small but meaningful ways. As fatigue sets in, The body prioritizes energy for forward propulsion at the expense of these supporting systems. Core stability may decline, leading to increased sway or forward leaning, while the shoulders and upper back may tighten to compensate. This redistribution of effort preserves motion, but alters biomechanics. The joints of the spine, hips, and knees may experience forces for which they are not optimally aligned, gradually contributing to discomfort or reduced efficiency in movement. These changes, while subtle, underscore the importance of monitoring how fatigue manifests and adjusting walking routines to preserve movement quality, particularly in older adults whose musculoskeletal system responds differently to prolonged exertion. Balance and fall risk are closely tied to fatigue as well. As stabilizing muscles tire and proprioceptive feedback diminishes, the body's ability to respond quickly to perturbations or uneven surfaces declines. What might have been a minor stumble in youth can become a potential hazard in later life. Even small deviations in gait, when combined with fatigue, increase the likelihood of missteps or loss of balance. Walking on uneven terrain or navigating obstacles requires heightened attentiveness and muscular engagement, and fatigue can erode both, making the environment more challenging than it appears. This emphasizes the need for pacing, rest, and careful observation of the body's signals, reinforcing that fatigue is not simply an inconvenience, but a critical factor in maintaining safety and long-term mobility. Psychological perception of fatigue also changes with age. Many older adults take pride in perseverance and may push beyond the body's comfortable limit out of habit, routine, or a desire to maintain independence. Determination is admirable, yet it can mask the early warning signs of overexertion. Fatigue may be interpreted as normal effort rather than as a signal from the body to pause, recover, or reduce intensity. Paying attention to the quality of movement, smoothness, posture, stride, and breathing becomes essential for recognizing when fatigue is influencing gait and joint loading. By attuning to these subtle cues, walking transforms from a purely physical act into an informed practice of awareness and self-regulation. Recovery becomes as important as the activity, addressing the effects of fatigue. Younger bodies may rebound quickly, but after 60, muscle fibers and connective tissues require longer periods to repair and restore optimal function. Short-term fatigue that is ignored can accumulate over days or weeks, leading to chronic joint stiffness, soreness, or decreased mobility. Alternating walking distances, incorporating rest days, and varying intensity allows muscles, tendons, and joints to recover fully while preserving the benefits of regular activity. Gentle stretching, hydration, and nutrition further support the restoration process, ensuring that the body maintains strength, flexibility, and balance without overloading its systems. The interaction of fatigue with cardiovascular function is also meaningful. Even moderate walking engages the heart, lungs, and circulation in a sustained rhythm. As muscles tire, they demand more oxygen for energy production, and the cardiovascular system must respond accordingly. Overexertion or prolonged fatigue may temporarily elevate heart rate and blood pressure beyond optimal levels, signaling stress to the system. A steady pace that avoids exhaustion helps maintain balance between oxygen delivery and muscular demand, reinforcing the principle that fatigue is a key limiter to both mechanical efficiency and systemic health. Individual variability influences how fatigue manifests during walking. Genetics, prior conditioning, existing health conditions, and lifestyle factors all play a role in determining when fatigue becomes significant. Some older adults may tolerate longer walks with minimal compensatory adjustments, while others may experience pronounced fatigue after a shorter distance. Paying attention to personal signals, observing the body's response to different distances, and adjusting accordingly ensures that walking remains beneficial and safe. Recognizing that fatigue is not a uniform experience, but a highly personal physiological response is crucial for designing walking routines that support both mobility and long-term health. In essence, fatigue after 60 is more than tired muscles. It is a subtle but powerful signal that influences gait, posture, joint loading, balance, and cardiovascular stress. Attending to its presence, understanding its implications, and integrating rest and recovery are essential strategies for safe, effective, and restorative walking. By observing how fatigue shapes movement and responding with mindfulness and adjustment, older adults can preserve their independence, maintain mobility, and continue to experience the profound physical and mental benefits that walking offers as a daily practice. The heart, even after 60, remains one of the most remarkable organs in the human body, capable of adaptation and resilience when approached with care and understanding. Walking, in its simplest form, has profound effects on cardiovascular health, yet the intensity, duration, and rhythm of each step matter more than ever as the body ages. The cardiovascular system is a network of pumps, vessels, and regulatory mechanisms designed to deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues while removing waste products efficiently. With age, structural and functional changes occur within this system. Blood vessels may lose some elasticity, arterial walls may thicken, and resting heart rate may shift slightly. These changes do not indicate weakness, but rather an evolution in how the system responds to demands. A steady, paced walk engages this network in a controlled, harmonious way, promoting circulation, enhancing oxygen delivery, and maintaining cardiovascular efficiency without overstressing the heart or its associated systems. When walking remains within a comfortable, conversational pace, the heart operates within a zone that supports endurance, optimizes blood flow, and reinforces the adaptive capacity of the cardiovascular system without triggering unnecessary stress responses that could be counterproductive. The rhythm of walking is more than a measure of steps, it is a dialogue with the cardiovascular system itself. When the pace is steady and comfortable, the heart rate rises to a level that enhances cardiac output, improving the delivery of oxygen to muscles, brain tissue, and organs. This moderate elevation of heart rate stimulates the growth of capillaries in muscle tissue, enhances the efficiency of oxygen utilization, and contributes to the maintenance of healthy blood pressure levels. In contrast, walking at an intensity that exceeds the body's comfort zone can provoke an overexertion response. The heart must work harder to meet oxygen demands. Blood pressure may spike, and the body may begin to produce stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. While these responses are normal under occasional high-intensity activity, chronic or prolonged overexertion after 60 can undermine the restorative and protective effects of walking. The balance between heart rate elevation and therefore critical, ensuring that the cardiovascular system gains benefit without experiencing unnecessary strain. The concept of rhythm also extends to breathing, which is intimately linked with cardiovascular function. A pace that allows comfortable breathing indicates that oxygen intake, transport, and utilization are well matched to energy expenditure. When walking becomes breathless, the cardiovascular system is being pushed into a higher level of demand than is sustainable over time. This can create transient imbalances in oxysupply to muscles and organs and may lead to fatigue, dizziness, or discomfort. By maintaining a rhythm that allows steady, controlled respiration, older adults can ensure that the heart remains efficient, muscles receive adequate oxygen, and overall energy is conserved for sustained activity. In this way, rhythm is not merely a metaphor, but a physiological principle that governs the effectiveness of walking as cardiovascular exercise. Furthermore, the cardiovascular benefits of walking extend beyond immediate effects to long-term adaptation. Regular, moderate, paced walking improves endothelial function, the health of the lining of blood vessels, which supports vasodilation and healthy blood pressure regulation. It also enhances the elasticity of arteries and promotes efficient return of blood to the heart. These adaptations are cumulative and are optimized when walking is consistent but not excessive. By pacing walks to avoid overexertion, older adults allow the cardiovascular system to strengthen gradually, reducing the risk of hypertension, arrhythmias, and other age-related cardiovascular challenges. Consistently walking at high intensity or for excessive duration without attention to rhythm can lead to repeated periods of stress that diminish these long-term benefits and may increase vulnerability to strain or injury. Heart rate variability is another dimension of cardiovascular adaptation that is influenced by walking intensity and rhythm. Heart rate variability reflects the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic activity, the two branches of the autonomic nervous system that regulate heart function. Moderate, steady walking supports parasympathetic activity, encouraging recovery, stress resilience, and improved regulation of blood pressure and heart rate. Walking that pushes the heart into a state of overexertion or discomfort may tilt this balance towards sympathetic dominance, producing temporary stress that can affect sleep, mood, and overall cardiovascular recovery. By emphasizing rhythm and comfort in walking, older adults harness a form of cardiovascular training that strengthens not only the heart muscle, but also the regulatory systems that maintain long-term health. The interplay between cardiovascular function and musculoskeletal integrity is also important, as stabilizing muscles in the hips, knees, and ankles fatigue. Gait and posture may change subtly, creating uneven load on joints and shifting energy demands. These shifts influence how the heart and circulatory system respond to walking. For example, inefficient gait patterns increase muscular effort for the same distance, potentially raising heart rate beyond the optimal zone for cardiovascular benefit. By monitoring movement quality and pacing activity to preserve efficient gait, older adults ensure that the cardiovascular system is engaged effectively rather than being strained by compensatory mechanics. This demonstrates that cardiovascular health is not solely a product of heart activity, but a holistic outcome of coordinated movement, rhythm, and attentiveness to the body's responses. Energy management also plays a central role in cardiovascular safety and efficacy during walking. The heart's workload is directly influenced by the metabolic demands of muscles, which require oxygen and nutrients to sustain movement. Walking at a comfortable pace allows energy expenditure to remain within sustainable limits, preventing excessive strain on the heart and minimizing the production of metabolic byproducts that can lead to fatigue or discomfort. Overexertion disrupts this balance, forcing the heart to pump more blood to support exhausted muscles and creating an internal stress response that may extend beyond the duration of the walk. By regulating intensity and duration, older adults support a cardiovascular environment that fosters adaptation, endurance, and long-term resilience. Individual variability is significant in how the heart responds to walking. Factors such as baseline fitness, cardiovascular history, medications, and overall health status influence heart rate response, blood pressure fluctuations, and energy efficiency. Listening to the body, monitoring breath and effort, and adjusting walking pace accordingly ensures that the cardiovascular system is supported in a personalized way. This personalized rhythm allows the heart to receive the benefits of exercise without experiencing excessive strain, making walking a form of preventive care that can be sustained over decades. The mental dimension of cardiovascular engagement is equally important. Walking at a comfortable pace reduces stress, promotes relaxation, and encourages mindfulness, all of which have positive effects on heart function. When pace is too rapid or intensity too, hormones increase, which can counteract the calming, restorative effects of moderate activity. By prioritizing rhythm, comfort, and sustainable effort, walking becomes not only a physical exercise, but also a mental practice that supports cardiovascular health through reduced stress and improved autonomic balance. Ultimately, the heart after 60 thrives not on extremes but on consistency, rhythm, and attuned engagement. Walking at a moderate, steady pace allows the cardiovascular system to strengthen, adapt, and maintain function over time, integrating seamlessly with musculoskeletal, neurological, and metabolic systems to create holistic health benefits. Breath, rhythm, and awareness become guides for safe, effective walking, ensuring that each step contributes to endurance, vitality, and resilience without overloading the system. Recovery and body awareness are fundamental elements in maintaining health and mobility after 60, especially when engaging in activities as seemingly simple as walking. The act of walking is often perceived as effortless, yet it is a complex interplay of muscles, joints, connective tissues, cardiovascular function, and neurological coordination. After 60, the body responds to movement differently than it did in younger years, making attentiveness to signals of fatigue, discomfort, or subtle imbalance critical for sustaining long-term health. Recovery is no longer just a break from activity, it is an active process during which the body repairs microdamage, restores energy reserves, recalibrates coordination, and reduces inflammation in response to the stresses of daily movement. Walking every day is beneficial, but without periods of recovery, even low-impact activities can gradually strain joints, muscles, and connective tissue, potentially undermining the very benefits that make walking so essential. Muscles, for example, require time to rebuild after exertion. In younger bodies, muscle fibers repair quickly and efficiently, often overnight, Restoring strength and functional capacity are the next bout of activity. After 60, the regenerative process slows. Muscle fibers, particularly the smaller stabilizing fibers that support balance and posture, take longer to recover from fatigue and minor stress. Repeatedly walking without sufficient rest can leave these muscles in a chronically fatigued state, reducing their ability to stabilize joints and absorb impact. This may manifest as subtle shifts in gait, or increased reliance on larger muscles to compensate, which in turn can place uneven stress on knees, hips, and the spine. By incorporating recovery periods into a walking routine, older adults allow these stabilizing systems to rebuild and strengthen, enhancing both movement efficiency and safety. Connective tissue, including tendons and ligaments, also benefits profoundly from recovery. Tendons transmit force from muscle to bone, and ligaments stabilize joints by limiting excessive motion. These tissues are slower to repair than muscles and are highly susceptible to cumulative stress. Walking for long durations without periods of rest can lead to micro-trauma in tendons or subtle joint instability, often without immediate pain. Over weeks or months, this can contribute to inflammation or discomfort that might limit mobility. Recovery periods, whether through rest, gentle stretching, or light complementary activity, give connective tissues the time to repair collagen fibers and maintain elasticity. This process helps preserve joint integrity and reduces the risk of chronic issues, reinforcing that recovery is not a passive state but an essential component of safe, effective movement. The cardiovascular system, too, relies on periods of lower intensity or rest to maintain efficiency. Walking at a comfortable pace stimulates the heart and improves circulation, but extended or overly vigorous walks without attentive pacing can place unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. Rest periods and moderated activity allow to recover from transient elevations in heart rate and blood pressure, optimizing overall cardiovascular function. During recovery, the autonomic nervous system rebalances, with parasympathetic activity calming heart rate and promoting relaxation. This physiological restoration supports not only cardiac health, but also the body's overall energy economy, ensuring that each subsequent walk is performed in a state of efficiency rather than cumulative stress. Hydration, nutrition, and sleep are key partners in the recovery process. Proper hydration supports joint lubrication, aids circulation, and facilitates metabolic processes necessary for muscle repair. Adequate nutrition provides amino acids for rebuilding muscle fibers, antioxidants to combat cellular stress, and micronutrients that support connective tissue integrity. Sleep, often underestimated in its importance, is a primary window for systemic recovery. Hormonal activity during sleep, including growth hormone release, promotes tissue repair, energy restoration, and inflammation reduction. Without attention to these foundational factors, even moderate walking can become less effective or, over time, contribute to subtle functional decline. Recovery in this context is holistic, encompassing not only rest between walks, but also the broader conditions that enable the body to heal and strengthen. Body awareness is equally critical in optimizing walking routines after 60. The body communicates continuously through signals such as fatigue, stiffness, mild soreness, or subtle changes in balance. Attentiveness to these cues allows individuals to adjust pace, stride length, or duration, preventing overexertion and supporting the quality of movement. Older adults who cultivate awareness can detect when stabilizing muscles are becoming fatigued, when joints feel slightly misaligned, or when cardiovascular effort is higher than desired. This conscious engagement transforms walking from a rote activity into an interactive practice in which the body and mind collaborate to optimize health outcomes. By observing movement quality, posture, and comfort, older adults ensure that walking remains restorative rather than potentially stressful. Recovery also includes active strategies such as alternating walking intensity or duration, integrating rest days, and including complementary exercises. Shorter walks, gentle stretching, or low-impact cross-training can provide circulation, maintain mobility, and reinforce strength without overwhelming fatigued muscles or joints. Alternating long and short walks allow to experience a balance of stimulus and restoration, ensuring cumulative benefits without excessive strain. In addition, mindful attention to environmental factors such as terrain, footwear, and walking surfaces can reduce joint impact and further support safe movement. This combination of rest, active recovery, and environmental awareness enhances the sustainability of walking routines, fostering long-term mobility, balance, and independence. Neurological recovery is another dimension often overlooked. Walking requires continuous coordination of muscles, joints, and sensory feedback. As fatigue accumulates, the nervous system's efficiency in maintaining posture and gait can decline, increasing the risk of missteps or uneven loading of joints. Recovery allows the nervous system to recalibrate, restoring proprioception and coordination. Activities such as gentle balance exercises, mindful movement practices, or even brief periods of rest can help the nervous system maintain responsiveness, supporting both safety and movement quality. Psychological aspects of recovery are important as well. Walking after 60 is often motivated by health goals, social engagement, or a desire to maintain independence. Ignoring signs of fatigue or pushing beyond comfortable limits can lead to frustration, reduced enjoyment, or discouragement. Recognizing the value of recovery fosters a more compassionate relationship with the body, in which listening and responding to signals becomes a form of self-respect and empowerment. This mindful approach encourages consistency over intensity, reinforcing long-term adherence and enhanced physical and emotional well-being. Individual differences in recovery needs are significant. Genetics, prior activity history, current health conditions, and lifestyle factors influence how quickly muscles, connective tissues, and cardiovascular systems respond to walking and require restoration. Attunement to personal thresholds allows older adults to calibrate walking frequency, duration, and intensity to their specific needs. By combining observation, adjustment, and intentional recovery strategies, walking becomes a practice tailored to the body's unique physiology, supporting functional independence, vitality, and overall resilience. In essence, recovery and body awareness after 60 transform walking from mere daily habit into a sophisticated practice of listening, responding, and nurturing the body. Each step is informed by prior experience, each pause or adjustment reinforces tissue repair, and each period of mindful rest ensures that the benefits of walking are cumulative rather than exhausting. By integrating recovery, attentiveness, and active awareness, older adults can sustain movement, preserve mobility, and continue to experience the profound physical, cognitive, and emotional benefits that walking offers as a lifelong, restorative practice.